Abneesh Roy, is the sell-off in Nestle today justified?
Sure. So thanks for having me. Yeah. So definitely three things. One is the sell-off today. We don't see that necessarily coming out because of yesterday's development of sugar 3 grams per serving. I would say that in Nestle last few weeks, back to back, there have been some negative news flow. First, there was the news flow of cocoa cost increasing last 1 year almost 200, 300%, and last few months doubling. Second one was, of course, coffee cost also has been inflationary. So what we see is Nestle margin expansion in the near term is looking a bit challenging because of coffee and cocoa cost being high. But yes, milk cost is down, so that should definitely address partly. Second was the royalty increase, so 15 bps royalty hike every year for the next 5 years. So over 5 years time frame, 75 bps increase. Coming back to this sugar news, we don't see any significant impact on the sales of Nestle's products here because of three reasons. One is, of course, Nestle has reduced the sugar content in the last 5 years by 30% in the Indian product. So my sense is they will keep doing that. So the added sugar content has to go down, especially if you see Indian pediatricians say that below 2 years there should not be any added sugar. So I will expect that Nestle will keep on doing the local R&D team to reduce it further. Second is if you see in India, most food products there is added sugar. So I would say in developing countries because of the pricing uh, challenge versus say developed countries where that issue is not there, there is a added sugar in most food products. So I would say that as we transition towards tougher regulation and definitely per capita income improves, gradually that journey will happen. But I don't see that near term any big regulatory risk is there because of this, because this is not something like lead or something like that. This is sugar which is there in most of the food products which we consume. But yes, the journey will be there from the Nestle's local R&D team. This is what we'll definitely expect. So net we don't see this as a big concern on the numbers. But yes, back to back three negative news flow has happened in the last few weeks. That's why the stock is correcting. In the food space, we'll prefer Tata Consumer and even Britannia from 1 year perspective is looking decent versus Nestle, where currently these two, three issues are there.
So what's a good price to, let's say, buy Nestle? I distinctly remember when the whole Maggie issue happened a couple of years ago. Those who bought when Nestle fell after the Maggie issue, they were rewarded.
So two things. One, this is nowhere comparable to Nestle Maggie issue. In Nestle Maggie issue, if you remember, it was lead, etc., and the regulators banned the product. There were many quarters where the product had faced issue of supply. Here, there is nothing like that. This is sugar. We all consume sugar, so I don't think the two things can be compared. Second is Nestle stock has not really corrected too much. Today, it might be down 4%, but if you see from the peak levels and last 1 year, 3 year performance of Nestle stock has been very good in the broader FMCG, where FMCG sector has been generally out of the flavor with the investors a bit. Of course, there have been stocks like Tata Consumer, Varun Beverages, etc., which have done really well in the same space. Nestle stock has also done well. So you have to see that this 4% correction and maybe 10% correction from the top, this is not very big to warrant a immediate interest from the investors. My sense is in the next 1 or 2 quarters, some more time correction can happen as investors understand the cocoa cost, the higher royalty cost, those things, how do they pan out. But from a near-term perspective, I think Nestle's sales and EBITDA growth will still be decent. But my sense is depreciation cost for Nestle could go a bit higher because they are commissioning new factories also. So that is also one more slight concern. The depreciation cost will be on the higher side in the coming quarter.
Okay, so all of you who are getting a deja vu feeling of the Maggie controversy, well, Abneesh is saying it's nowhere near the earlier controversy. This is much different, and perhaps this slip that we are seeing in the stock price today is a bit overdone. Thanks so much, Abneesh, for making time and speaking with us today. In the meantime, this market has taken a bigger